I've prepared my thoughts beforehand on paper. I just want to share one very interesting thing that just jumped into my mind after hearing the tehillim said. Hinei lo yanu v'lo yishan shomer Yisrael. Just to kind of put into perspective the type of, I guess, world or moral perspective that the Israeli army embodies. When I walked into my barracks every single day for 8 months of training, there was a giant banner, probably a good 12 feet long, that said in big letters, that pasuk on the bottom, Hinei lo yanu v'lo yishan shomer Yisrael. And I think that really kind of puts into perspective the type of understanding that the Israeli army embodies. So the reason why I'm speaking today and why I offered to speak today, there's really only so much sympathy and understanding that can be achieved when hearing about what is happening right now in Israel on the news. I want to present to you a first-hand account of the reality of what is occurring as we speak, because it is my hope that hearing a personal account, it will allow you to relate and sympathize on a deeper level than merely reading the account on the media. I originally went to the Israeli army because, like many of you here, I felt a unique obligation towards Israel, towards the ideals of Israel, and towards the values that Israel represents. I realized that if these were values that I truly believed in, then there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to put my life on the line for those very ideals that I hold to be the primary foundation of my existence. Although it may have differed on a legal level, I felt that I had the same obligation as any citizen in the country of Israel. Just to offer you some insight, just to elaborate what I did in the Army, I served in the Golani Brigade. For those that don't know what it is, it's a combat infantry unit. I served from March 2010 until July 2011, 16 months, and 4.5 of those months were spent on the Gaza border. So just to offer you some insight as to the realities of what happens on the Gaza border, which is where the primary fighting is going on right now. Only a few months ago, this past summer, in the beginning of July, I was sitting on my couch in my apartment studying for a chemistry final, content, complacent with everything I was doing at the time. And at 2 o'clock in the morning, I got a message on Facebook from one of my friends still in the Army saying that, Josh, let me know if you're awake. I really need to speak to you right now. It's really important. So I said, dude, here's my number. Give me a call. He called me, and he called me to inform me that a mutual friend of ours, a good buddy of mine that I went into the Army with, was shot and killed on the Gaza border only a few hours beforehand. It's a buddy of mine that I went through training with for 8 months, and he was responding to something that happened on the border there. He was on a patrol, and he responded to go take care of whatever was going on the border. There were 3 terrorists that infiltrated Israel, and through the process of trying to take care of what happened, he was shot and killed. His name was Nati Shvili, Zichrono Livracha. He was 21 years old at the time, and he was doing the same exact patrol that I did every single day for 4.5 months. I kid you not, the same exact patrol, the same path, the same jeeps, the same drivers, did the same exact thing for 4.5 months. Because of Nati's help, the terrorists were killed and did not succeed in infiltrating Israel, and subsequently causing the death of innocent civilians. That weekend in Shul, on that Shabbat, I said the prayer for Israeli soldiers with tears streaming down my face. Never have I been so emotional while saying that tefillah in my life. Only when it hits close enough to home that it becomes enough of a genuine reality do we truly realize that the current status quo is unacceptable. It must be changed. Understand that there are communities only a couple kilometers from the areas where we did our patrols. That's only a little more than a mile, for those of you that don't know kilometers. My first weekend on the border, Hamas fired 120 rockets at us and the rest of the citizens of the South over a 3-day period. To put things in perspective, to understand what it's like to be under rocket fire, imagine what it's like to soundly go to sleep one night, only to have to wake up 2 hours later when the sirens go off, with only 15 seconds to make it to a shelter in time. Most of us presumably can't even get out of bed 15 seconds after our alarm clock goes off. Imagine what it's like to be in the midst of a shower when the siren goes off. Hamas doesn't wait for you to finish showering. We were in the middle of Musaf Shemona Esrei one time on Shabbos when the rockets started falling. We had to stop in the middle, we had to run, get our bulletproof vests, and run to the nearest bomb shelter as soon as we could. Sometimes the siren, for those that don't know, doesn't even detect the falling rockets, and the only alarm that we had that a rocket was coming was the explosion of the previous rocket that narrowly missed its target. I implore you to realize the reality of the situation and the disruption of life that comes along with the agonizing casualties. Do not let a jaded perspective take over as a function of time. Do not let the comfort of your own home distort your understanding of the severity of the situation. Hamas is not a stupid enemy. I can tell you firsthand that they are smart and not to be underestimated. They carefully monitor the actions of the Israeli army on a regular basis. Their deplorable actions, such as the use of human shields, is not a myth. I have witnessed these things firsthand. I have witnessed violent protests where grown men bring young children as accompaniment, knowing that it renders us as soldiers completely useless. It's very difficult, and I'm sure I can speak for many of the other former soldiers that are present here, to be here in America, far from what is occurring, not being able to do what we were trained to do. It's a paralyzing feeling. I have literally accomplished nothing today, because there's just no time in between reading the news and speaking to my friends that are currently there, still in the Army, not finished until March. Nonetheless, it is with incredible pride and appreciation, and even a consolation of sorts, that I can stand here and speak from my experience while witnessing the tremendous amount of people that adamantly support Israel and will stop at nothing to show their solidarity. This is the kind of international support that Israel needs. So please keep in mind in your tefillot, your prayers, the fragility and gravity of the situation, and that we need God's help now as much as ever. Thank you.